Hey everybody, KC here. So it's Friday, and normally on Friday I do a little section called Offbeat, where I look at movies and TV shows and books, and I talk about wines. I do lots of different kinds of stuff that, sort of weekend-centric. Been doing this since I started this thing 21 plus years ago. But I'm off today. But I thought, since I'm doing a little video every day during my brief vacation, what I would do is I would bring a little Offbeat to FaceTime. And basically, I want to talk to you about a book that I just finished reading the other day. And I have to tell you, this is one of the, it's one of my favorite books ever. I've been reading for a long, long time. It is just absolutely fabulous. And the book is called This is the Story of a Happy Marriage by Ann Patchett. Now, Ann Patchett's a novelist. I've known of her, but I've never read any of her work before. Mrs. Content Guy gave me this book, and it's a collection of nonfiction essays, a number of them. And I have to say, it is absolutely fabulous. And I found so many of them to be sort of relevant and deeply resonant to me. She writes about marriage. She writes about her relationship with a nun. Who taught her when she was just a kid. She talks about her deep connection to her dog. She has stories about her father, about her mother, about her sister, about her grandmother. The whole thing is just so warm and so engaging. And it's sort of this very deeply personal book for a nonfiction collection of essays, and it's really revelatory. I just came away from this book just loving her writing and really liking her. And in fact, at various points in it, I found myself slowing down because I didn't want the experience to be over too quickly. One of the really interesting chapters in the book is basically about her co-ownership at the time, of an independent bookstore in Nashville, Tennessee, called Parnassus Books. And she talks about how she got involved with it and how it has, in a lot of ways, helped to define at least a big part of her life, her non-writing life, but has allowed her to bring a different sensibility to her writing, and I think a writer's sensibility to the bookstore. I have to tell you, reading about this Parnassus Books, I'm ready to get in the car and drive to Nashville. It just sounds wonderful. So it's a chapter just chock full with business lessons for anybody who is a retailer. It's interesting. Since I finished reading the book, I found myself listening to podcasts that she's been on over the years. I have a couple of videos. She was on the old Colbert Report. And she's really, really good. And it was interesting. In one of the podcasts that she talked about, she said she was hanging out with a bunch of friends, and for some reason the subject became, what is the one thing that you would be willing to go to jail for? And she said her answer was actually pretty easy. As both a writer and a bookstore owner, she said, I would be willing to go to jail for selling banned books. And she basically made the point that in Tennessee, this is not an abstraction. There's a lot of noise being made about banning books from libraries and banning books from bookstores, and saying bookstores will not be allowed to sell certain books. And her phrase was very simple: come and get me. She intends to do it. And I just have one quick suggestion for the state of Tennessee. I wouldn't play this game with Ann Patchett. She is a national treasure with an enormous following. I'm really new to the game. It will not go well for you if you try to engage with Ann Patchett on the subject of banned books. Anyway, I hope that doesn't happen. I hope she's not in jail. I hope she's able to do a lot more writing. For one, I'm going to go back and look at her backlist and go through all the books that she's read. This is her newest. It's called Tom Lake. Mrs. Content Guy just finished reading it. I'm going to get to it next. The works of Ann Patchett. Just a wonderful, wonderful writer. I recommend it to you with enormous enthusiasm and passion. Anyway, that is what's on my mind. And as always, I want to hear what's on your mind.